Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message for today is cultivating the garden of yourself. So, I like to call them overlighting cards. We start out with the Eight of Pentacles and the Moon. There are four major arcanas in this reading, and as we near that eclipse, and here's this moon energy, like very much a cultivation. And I didn't even look at what was underneath it, but underneath the moon we've also got the Ace of Swords. I'll count that one in. So it really feels like you've been working on yourself. Eight of Pentacles, and with that moon card, and there's other cards that I'll show that really support that you have been shining light into the darkness. You're bringing light to what's been lying in the shadows. I feel like universally this could be happening as well as individually. But on your personal journey, it really feels like you are cultivating yourself. You're really, your garden is beginning to really thrive, and maybe you haven't achieved the fruit of it, which can be the fruit of healing, although do we ever truly finish healing? But maybe, who knows. I feel like it's saying to keep working, keep going, because you are seeing evidence of your commitment, evidence of your investment, and evidence of your cultivation, nourishing, evidence of your commitment. Yeah. So then we've got the Judgment card with the Temperance reversed. They landed in pairs for whatever reason for this reading. Again, two more major arcanas. It's interesting that the Judgment would be upright and the Temperance would be reversed. Usually the Temperance by itself, when it's reversed, anytime there's cups, whether it's major arcana or minor, I see it as a drain, and it feels like you've really been trying to pour into others too much instead of alchemizing your own pain. Like maybe you're trying to fix other people or fix every situation, trying to fix everything outside of you instead of fixing what's within. It's kind of what that feels like. I also want to say that because there are other underlying things that maybe you've been avoiding, or some part of your mind has been wanting to protect you, so you haven't even known what to look for or how to see it. Totally can relate to that. But I also get a sense with this Temperance reversed that it could be like not only people pleasing by pouring into other people and pouring into other situations that you're trying to fix, but also I think trying to be something that you're not, trying to pour yourself, trying to be, what do they say, a square peg fitting in a round hole, like trying to force yourself to conform to something that others, that will please others when they look at you or whatever, but you don't need that fucking approval. And again, it's just a drain. And so it really feels like you are leveling up out of this energy, I think, and that would just automatically turn this Temperance card around, because you want to alchemize the things that are surfacing. Looks like trauma, looks like grief, sexual stuff going on for sure. Not just that, but well, we might as well get over to it. Maybe I'll come back to these. So then in the middle, we've got the Ten of Pentacles upright with the King of Staffs or Fire reversed. And then I just want to say, then over here, we've got the Queen of Staffs reversed with the Death card reversed. So again, all these major arcanas, and then the King and the Queen of Fire both reversed. So that's where I'm getting some sort of sexual trauma with both of them being reversed. Fire energy, it's sexy. And so, and it all relates to that sacral chakra. So this could be related to your energy in general. It doesn't just have to be sexual energy, but it could just be your energy, your overall health, and energy. It could be your creativity, your passion, your inspiration, especially with this being reversed here. If you're consistently pouring into anything and everything and anyone and everyone but yourself, it's hard to have much energy left to fuel your own passions. Again, coming back to this king and queen, I do feel like this is mom and dad kinds of issues. And, this could speak to everything but about, maybe he cheated on her or she cheated on him, or they cheated on each other, or maybe there was some sort of sexual abuse on you or that you witnessed between them, or maybe they had no sexual energy at all, or they wouldn't allow it to be seen. Maybe they were very ashamed of their bodies and ashamed of that, or maybe they both shamed you. Like it can be expressed in multiple ways and maybe in all directions, who knows. And there's something about the king being with the 10 of Pentacles upright and the queen being with the death card reversed. I kind of want to go to this energy first. When death is reversed, I really take that as a long transformation. I don't want to say that you are avoiding changing, because with this kind of energy, good luck avoiding it. It's like saying, oh, it looks like Pluto is about to transit my Venus. No, I don't think I'm going to let that happen. Like, there's no stopping it. There's sometimes these transformations are just inevitable, but how you choose to work with the energy is entirely up to you. So, it's like, I love how Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage and we are but actors. And we can either follow scripts that have been, pre-scripted in our minds, or we can just improvise. And in improvisation, like right now, like when I have people at this table, I say, we've got so many choices that we're not even considering right now. But at any time, any one of us could just throw this table on the floor. And I hope we won't, because if you saw my table, you'd see that I put a lot of work into making it pretty. But you could jump up and run out in the street and do jumping jacks. Like, you have so many choices that you don't even consider at times. So getting clear about the choices that feel relevant for you, the choices that feel that maybe do call you in a passionate direction, or an inspired direction, somewhere that you can get your fire back for sure. I feel like, and I'm hearing like womb energy, and that's what I was talking about with the sacral, but something about this queen and the death card reversed, it almost feels like there's some sort of a gestation period that's taking place, but not only gestation for what you are birthing through you, but also some sort of a gestation of what's dying. I love that a person can be a doula for bringing life into this world, but there are death doulas too. I know an amazing woman who is a death doula. And so there's something about this birth and death, life and death. It makes me want to recall my brother died last year, and a message that he gave me after he passed was that birth and death are the same thing. They're the same process. It's like gravity. The way he described it as the tides, and the way the gravity of the moon pushes the tides in, and to the casual observer, when that wave touches the shore, it's brief like that. But to that wave touching the sand, that's an entire lifetime. That's an entire connection. But then the gravity, the wave always pulls it back out to sea. And so, we're experiencing major life and death transitions right now. And in some cases, maybe you are being faced with actual people crossing over. But I think it's more metaphorical about your own inner being, your own inner light, your own inner divine masculine and feminine, and how it relates to your creative power, and especially your creative power, but I want to say especially your passion, your sexuality, your desire, your action, something about taking forward movement. I think there's a need to take a risk. One more thing before I move over to this king. I'll say with this 10, or not 10, with this death card, with this 13, number of the goddess, again, I always see this as a longer transformation. You can't really stop this energy. You can choose how to interact with it, how to align with it, how to resist it if you want to, or how to flow with it if you want to. But eventually the transformation does take place. And it's kind of silly, but like, could you imagine a caterpillar trying to resist going into the cocoon or the chrysalis? And I love that, oh no, this isn't the one with the butterflies. I love this art though. but you know, it's the nature of the caterpillar to eventually become the butterfly, right? So it does feel like there's some sort of hope here, and I can't help but notice that, you know, we have the eclipse on the 7th. I'm recording this on the 5th, and you know, this could be a crescent moon, but it kind of looks like an eclipse. So I think this lunar eclipse is going to be very transformative for many of us on an individual level as well as in a collective level. And so maybe because it is reversed, maybe it's indicating some sort of big transformation to your feminine as it pertains to your sexuality, your creativity, your passion, your motivation, your energy, all the way around. Within the next 6 months of this eclipse cycle, see how this energy might turn around for you. And maybe start journaling now. Do something to document where you are now so that you can like fully appreciate and witness the changes that you go through over the next 6 months. So then we come to this King of Fire reversed. And you know, fire is a masculine element. But of course, what I love about the king and the queen is that usually the king has a salamander here to protect him. I learned this from watching other tarot readers. You're never too old to learn. But the queen doesn't, she's got her little black kitty to be her companion, but she doesn't need that salamander. So there's something about the courage of the Queen of Fire when she stands in her passion, when she stands in her power, when she stands in her purpose, and she has the courage to go after what it is that she truly wants. There is no stopping her. So it does feel like embracing that, but then also with this feminine, and with the Death card too, there is about allowing a gestation of something, gestating your passion, gestating. So it's like having patience. It reminds me of another deck where the Ace of Fire has a spider on it, and she's holding a giant egg that's way too big for a spider to be holding. But and it really does speak to, it reminds me of earth and fire connected. It's like taking those seeds and cultivating them, nurturing them, nourishing them. And so the earth energy is about discipline. It is about cultivation. It's about commitment. It's about, you know, discipline, investment. But then that passion, that fire is, it's what keeps you. It's like, say you love cucumbers so much, or watermelon, or whatever, tomatoes, that just knowing that you are going to get to savor the fruit of your labors, that passion inspires you to keep going. So with this King of Fire reversed, again, it feels like a lack of energy, a need for more energy, a need for passion in your life, something to inspire you. I remember talking with someone, gosh, you know, 30 years ago or something like that, 25 years ago, and he said to me that depression is the opposite of creativity. If I wasn't already calling this video something else, that's what I would call this. Depression is the opposite of creativity. And so what's the opposite of depression then? Or, you know, it's get creative, get passionate, find something. And sometimes, you know, it takes going to nature. Go for a little hike, go out and connect, touch a tree, you know, and the more you can immerse yourself in a full nature experience, the better. But even if it's just finding a tree to touch, putting bare feet on the grass or rocks or whatever, look up at the sky, breathe, drink water. But also writing, you know, just start writing about, like, why do I feel bored, or why do I feel depressed, or, you know, what did I used to feel passionate about? Like, write about anything. Write a story about the inner child who's sad, you know, or whatever you want to do. You know, any action taken, it gets the energy moving, and it's really important to start the energy moving. I'm hearing clean your house, but that's a personal dig on me, so whatever. So there's something about this 10 of Pentacles, and I feel like going right back to this 8 of Pentacles, where you're really working on yourself, you're really cultivating something. The work is paying off. And again, here's this Ace of Swords. I want to talk about this ace just right here too, because aces are card number 1. It's about initiating, and swords are about communication. They are about speaking. They're about truth. They're about alignment. They're about beliefs. They're about living purposefully. For some reason, this wants to be said to be an antenna. I didn't even mean to say alignment, but it came out. So I'll trust that. There's something about aligning your beliefs with your cause and believing in yourself. There's some sort of an interim. And what do they mean by that? Maybe it's coming back to this energy where you're gestating something. Aligning your energy with your cause, developing an affinity for your passions, where you believe in yourself, where you become so in love with yourself. If you didn't have exceptionally loving parents, then maybe look to other, loving parents, and instead of having envy or sad about it, first be happy for the kid, then be happy for the parent that they can feel that, and then be happy for yourself that you're able to witness what a healthy, supportive love looks like, and then start applying that energy to yourself. You can learn how to make your own tinctures. You can learn how to make your own, and it's like an energetic healing elixir that you're making for yourself as you get your passion back, as you get your motivation and your desire to take action. And it feels like there's a strong need for you to really self-soothe, self-nurture at this time. And so again, aces are number one. Then we have this 10 of Pentacles, and 10 is a completion of a cycle. 1 plus 0 equals 1. And so it's about initiating something new based on truth, but also based on the work that you have been doing. The 10 of Pentacles, I love the 10 of Pentacles because this is about establishing a solid foundation beneath your feet. And what I'm hearing is understand as well. So it feels like there's a solid foundation of self-worth where you come into this deep understanding. And I feel like focusing on that word, I saw somebody else focus on that word today, and they were being silly and saying, what am I standing under? And maybe, maybe it is time to look up. And I'm thinking of another person saying, every time they walk through a doorway, they affirm, I am walking through a doorway of abundance. You can wear keys around your neck, if you're into Hecate especially, but you can wear keys around your neck. I've got a few different kinds of keys, and unlock dimensional doorways, unlock yourself, turn it within, and unlock your heart, unlock your solar plexus, unlock your potential, whatever it is. But it does really feel like allowing yourself to initiate a new beginning by allowing closure, and it really feels like valuing yourself enough to really give yourself permission to go after what you're passionate about. I don't believe at all that this is the time to move backwards. If you're flailing or failing, I don't think it means give up and go home, or give up and go back to the paradigm that maybe you were able to step out of for a time. I think what it means is get fucking passionate, get excited, and invest in yourself. See that you have shifted. Again, with this moon card, it feels like there's a trusting of divine timing, divine cycles, and also recognizing the drains on your energy. I feel like with this, I want to say that whatever used to work isn't working anymore, and that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that it's time to level the fuck up. Ooh, I like how that just came out. Let's focus on that. It's time to level up. I just want to repeat that, just like really put that in your ear. That just because something isn't working, something that used to work isn't working now, doesn't mean you're failing. It's just time to level up. That's what I get from this Judgment card and the 10 of Pentacles. And now it's time to get to your core. And really, I feel like housing both of these, and with this Judgment and the Moon, aligning to the cycles, your own divine timing, your own divine cycles. I'm gonna do another video. I'll either post it here or I'll tell you about the other social media that I might post it to. But I think I'm gonna do, no, I don't think. I'm gonna do a video about how to use this eclipse cycle to eclipse things out of your life. And if that's all you need to hear, and just know you can use eclipses to eclipse things out of your life, you can be eclipsing patterns, you can be eclipsing situations, you can be eclipsing people out of your life. Eclipse all of these out of your life and start new. And so something with this Death card and the Moon, also these other, what are the other major arcanas? Interesting how the moon is also an eclipse. The death card has an eclipse. The judgment card is a full moon. And then the temperance card, you can decide if the sun is rising or if the sun is setting. But there's something about divine timing. Kind of feels like the sun is setting just because it's going down on the mountains. But depending on where you live, there might be mountains in the east. Where I live in Asheville, there's mountains all around. So, you know, however you want to see this, I kind of want to say maybe the sun is setting on something and then it's being eclipsed out of your life. So allow the process, allow the things that want to leave your life, allow them to go. Give it permission to go. Bye. No. And then we've also got the Four of Cups here. You know, and I always look at the Four of Cups as settling anyway. You know, we want the Ace of Cups. You want that absolute fulfillment. And there's different ways to read all of the cards. But usually, for me, it's a card of settling. And especially with that Temperance reversed, it's like you're pouring into things that just aren't pouring back into you. Again, this could be people, this could be situations. You're pouring yourself into that which is not nurturing you. And so allow the sun to set on that and go into the experience of the night. I was kind of feeling with the moon and the death card, maybe some long dark night of the soul kinds of energies, especially with this King and Queen reversed. There's this reclamation of your power and of your creativity. And so eventually we want these to be upright, and these are two sides of your wholeness. These are both you. You are both the king and the queen of this passion and fire and desire and motivation, inspiration, creativity, action. So give yourself a chance. And I feel like saying, you know, take action wherever and whenever you can. There's so much opportunity to express yourself and to share it with others. You don't necessarily have to share it with others, but you can make a video documenting whatever you're going through. And sometimes that raw vulnerability is exactly what people need to hold them up, to bear witness to themselves and to know that they're not alone. But you don't have to share it. Do whatever is personal to you. You know, make yourself laugh, whatever you need to do to get the energy moving, but powerful cycle to step into your truth, so claim it. All right, that's all I have for today. Once again, my name is Fairlight. If you would like a palm reading, tarot reading, astrology reading from me, feel free to find the link in the bio. Hit me up, or hit me up on whatever social media you see this on, or Fairlight at airyfairytarot.com or airyfairytarot@gmail.com. I've got all different ways of getting a hold of me, so whatever. Or come on in to Instant Karma in downtown Asheville. It's a one-stop hippie shop, and get all your groovy swag. So, and then also if you will, you know, like and subscribe and all that stuff. All right. Thank you. Peace and love. Until next time.